It's Monday, October 6th. In the headlines, Electoral Commission of Jamaica reminds election candidates to submit expense reports by October 15. In business news, corporate Jamaica's credit worthiness reaffirmed. Regionally, Barbados' Tourism Minister Ian Gooding-Edgehill urges Caribbean to protect regional peace. And in sports, Cavalier FC eyes JPL final after Caribbean Cup exit. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. In a statement issued on Friday, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, emphasized that both candidates and contributors are legally required to submit their respective declarations by the deadline, October 15. Under the Representation of the People's Act, candidates or their designated agents must submit their expense report within 6 weeks of Election Day, using the prescribed form. The law also imposes a spending limit of $15 million per candidate, regardless of whether they are affiliated with a political party or running independently. Candidates are further required to submit a declaration of candidate form, confirming that they have not accepted donations from any impermissible contributors. According to the ECJ, submissions can be made either to the returning officer for the candidate's constituency or directly to the Director of Elections. Jamaica cemented its status as a Caribbean tourism powerhouse on Saturday night, capturing an impressive 45 awards at the prestigious 2025 World Travel Awards held at Sandals, St. Lucia. The island took home 29 regional Caribbean awards and 16 national titles, including the coveted title of Caribbean's leading destination. The Jamaica Tourist Board also claimed top honors as Caribbean's leading tourist board, a testament to its aggressive global marketing strategies and robust destination growth. The Heart NSTA Trust says it remains committed to training Jamaicans in areas that match the country's growing workforce demands. Managing Director Dr. Tanisha Ingleton made the announcement at the opening of the World Skills Jamaica National Skills Competition at the Montego Bay Convention Center.
Addressing those present at the opening ceremony, Dr. Ingleton says the agency is channeling its resources into high-demand industries.
1 in 3 of those learners, which is over 16,000, are in emerging fields like information and communications technology, logistics, construction, manufacturing, and agriculture. And these are the areas that are needed. The talent is needed in these areas to fuel the Jamaican industries.
She stressed that the agency's training programs are directly aligned with what employers see they need.
We are not out of alignment. What we are doing here today is specific and direct to where Jamaica needs to be, what industry has been telling us that it needs, and the talent that we need to work on to place in those various areas.
Dr. Ingleton also highlighted Heart's credentialing achievements, noting that since April 1, more than 14,000 certifications have been awarded.
The Heart and STA Trust have awarded 14,000 certifications. And what does this do? It opens doors to jobs, to careers, and to entrepreneurship. So more than 3,600 young people have already been placed in jobs, already with over 3,000 placements through the HOPE program, the Youth Summer Work program, etc. So nearly 12,000 adults have had their skills formally recognized through the prior learning assessment, transforming experience into opportunity.
The managing director says Heart NSTA Trust will continue expanding training opportunities to ensure Jamaica's workforce remains competitive and ready for emerging industries. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denita Rodney.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has outlined 3 key priorities to advance digital inclusion for persons with disabilities over the next 2 years. Speaking at a workshop during Caribbean Telecommunications Union ICT Week 2025 held at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston, Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. emphasized the government's commitment to creating a more accessible digital environment.
That in every classroom, every workplace, every community across our land, persons with disabilities present capable and deserving spaces for full inclusion. And it is our duty to ensure that the digital tools shaping our future are designed for everyone, leaving no one behind.
The first priority, described as Access with Purpose, aims to ensure that all new ICT access points are equipped with adaptive technologies and user-friendly onboarding processes.
This year, we achieved a major milestone with the launch of the I Am Able My JCPD app. I'm very proud. It is first of its kind as a digital platform in the Caribbean, allowing persons with disabilities to register with the Council, to apply for grants, and to request tax exemptions directly from their mobile devices.
Secondly, the ministry will focus on expanding training opportunities in assistive technologies. The third area of focus is promoting accessibility by default. Minister Charles Jr. highlighted that under the Jamaica's Disabilities Act, all public services, including digital platforms, must be accessible from inception.
JCPD has conducted accessibility audits of key government websites and platforms, bringing Jamaica closer to international standards. And we have more work to do. So looking ahead, we are preparing a joint declaration of intent with the UN Development System, which will strengthen policy, disability data, institutional capacity, and resource mobilization for sustained impact.
The workshop featured hands-on demonstrations of ICT devices, assistive technologies, and applications, and the sharing of information that could help persons with disabilities lead independent lives. This week, we continue to introduce the new faces in Parliament. Nikisha Burchill, a member of the People's National Party, is the newly elected Member of Parliament for South St. James and opposition spokesperson on the creative industries, culture, and education. She is a first-time MP and the first woman to be elected in the traditionally farming area. We caught up with Ms. Burchill at Gordon House recently.
You're fresh on the block. What does it mean to be a new MP? Are you nervous?
I am, of course, nervous. If I wasn't nervous, then I wouldn't be ready for the job. Because if I for one day forget why I'm here, then I would have disappointed the people. So that nerves keeps me excited, it keeps me grounded, and it keeps me always reflecting on those conversations I had with them when I was campaigning for the job. They want me to come here to represent their needs, their aspirations, those things that have been left behind in the constituency for many years. And every day I will try to remember that so that I can deliver on my promises to them.
Are you kicking and raring to go? Do you have any projects in mind that you want to tackle right now?
Yes, I have so many projects, but the problem is I'm learning so far. Most of the money has already been spent up by my predecessor. So I have lots of plans, lots of ideas. I'm meeting now with agencies, departments, and ministries to find out where I can find some money to get some of these projects going. South St. James has been left behind for far too long. We are a prime example of what rural development could look like if they give us the investment that can take us from just being a rural constituency to being a rural constituency with purpose and with pride.
In the business report, Kintyre Holdings subsidiary Visual Vibe has secured a strategic loan of $500,000 from Portland PJX, the private equity fund of Portland Holdings, led by Jamaican-Canadian billionaire Michael Lee Chin. The expansion will enable the company to provide a digital advertising platform for 175 trucks, which generate revenues of $350 per truck per day in that country. Kintyre Holdings Limited is also reporting that its subsidiary, Visual Vibes Limited, which recently broke into the U.S. digital advertising market, is planning to do an initial public offer of shares during the middle of the year 2027. Andrea Livingston Prince, CEO of Business Works and Chief Project Manager of the Seed Incubator, highlights the support of the Development Bank of Jamaica to help rural businesses bounce back from devastation. When Hurricane Beryl struck Jamaica in July 2024, many feared the worst for rural businesses. Crops were destroyed, markets disrupted, and livelihoods shaken. Yet, enterprises supported by the Business Works Seed Rural Economic Development Incubator surprised observers by bouncing back quickly. Within weeks, they were not just back in operation, they exceeded recovery targets by 8 to 10% and doubled their yields. An incubator is a structured program that helps new and growing businesses strengthen their operations, improve governance, and build financial discipline while connecting them to markets and investors. Caribbean Information and Credit Rating Services Limited has reaffirmed the assigned positive ratings of $13.4 billion bond issue of Guardian Holdings Limited. The ratings are supported by GHL's moderate industry diversification and strong market position of its subsidiaries, particularly in the English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean. GHL's consistently strong financial performance and robust capitalization of its regulated subsidiaries also support the ratings. Caricris has also upgraded by a notch the assigned issuer corporate credit ratings of Access Financial Services Limited. The one-notch upgrade of the ratings is primarily attributable to an improvement in Access Financial Services' financial risk profile over the past year, underpinned by the group's consistent loan growth. Time now for the latest financial market details in the business report with Denise Williams.
For the trading period ending October 3, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 10,151,842 units traded, representing 47.63% of market sales volume. Advertising and real estate holding firm Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited shares of 3,830,534 units traded, representing 17.97% of market sales volume. Food and beverage distributor Caribbean Producers Jamaica Limited shares of 2,328,624 units traded, representing 10.92% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On October 3, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $63.09 million purchased and US $70.69 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.65 per dollar, selling the US at $161.34 and buying the US at $159.69. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 45 cents per transaction, with selling at $115.85 and buying at $115.40. The British pound yielded Forex traders 97 cents in profits, with selling at $216.85 and buying at $215.88. For our credit report tip of the day, business stagnation can feel like hitting a wall, especially when you're doing everything right. Marketing, operations, and sales. Yet one of the most powerful growth tools many entrepreneurs overlook is their credit profile. A healthy credit profile can unlock funding, lower borrowing costs, and open doors to opportunities that accelerate growth. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Barbados' tourism minister, Ian Gooding-Edgehill, is reminding Caribbean nations of the importance of keeping the region a zone of peace. Speaking at the closing press conference of the Caribbean Tourism Organization's State of the Industry event, Minister Gooding-Edgehill said regional stability is vital, as any disruption could have ripple effects across tourism-dependent economies. The minister, who also chairs the CTO's Council of Ministers and Commissioners of Tourism, said Barbados and its neighbors must continue exploring new source markets and highlighted airline code sharing as a key step toward boosting seamless regional travel.
The United States is one of the fastest growing market for the Caribbean. And of course, we want that to continue. We want to see continued growth. But we also, if we are very strategic in our planning, we also have to ensure that we open up other markets in the event that any one market that we have should give us a shock. And that's the point I try to explain to the conference. And I think all member states within CARICOM, they're tuned to that reality. It's no different in the past. For example, yes, we have to maintain the Caribbean and continue to brand the Caribbean as a zone of peace. That's important. Because the day we don't have that, it could impact our rivals, and we certainly don't want that because of the tremendous benefits. And like I say, tourism is really the backbone of most economies within the region. If you have a code share agreement with an airline, and you might have a situation where the fare is probably more competitive than if you have to travel to one destination and buy a ticket from the second destination to head down to your final destination. So I do support the minister's call. I think it's very useful. We have some arrangements in place. You will know that a lot of the airlines, they have their alliances or they have their One World programs, etc. And that's worked very well, especially for persons who are having onward travel. You have to remember as well that not every country within Caribbean will have direct connections.
Caribbean agriculture ministers have endorsed the 25 by 25 plus 5 plan to boost regional food production. Production in the region has jumped from 57% in 2022 to 82% last year, and the plan now targets 4.3 million tons of food by 2030. Guyana is leading the charge, aiming for over 1 million tons of rice nearly 500,000 tons of vegetables, and significant increases in poultry, coconut, corn, and root crops. Officials say the initiative will cut food imports, strengthen regional trade, and bring the Caribbean closer to full integration. We have more in this story from HGP Nightly News.
The Council for Trade and Economic Development quoted ministers of agriculture from across the Caribbean have endorsed the 25 by 25 plus 5 implementation plan, which forms part of CARICOM's agri-food system strategy, commonly known as the Vision 25 by 2025 initiative. Speaking at the engagement of agriculture ministers, Mustafa said, quote unquote, "At the regional level, the data shows there has been increasingly stronger growth year on year. In 2022, the region's achievement rate was 57%. In 2023, it was 70%, and in 2024, it was 82%, giving a growth in production of 23.1% between 2022 to 2024. He signaled out the fact that accelerated production growth has been achieved with 8.9% and 13% registered between 2022 to 2023 and 2023 to 2024 respectively. In his retort, Mustafa said the extension of the initiative to 2030 gives the region an opportunity to strengthen on achievements, scale up production, and deepen regional cooperation, noting that under 25 by 25 plus 5, quote unquote, we are collectively targeting 4.3 million tons of regional food production by 2030. The Agriculture Minister urged member states to recognize meaningful partnerships formed, to remove consistent barriers to intra-regional trade, and to strengthen mechanisms that support food producers. Mustafa noted that for Guyana, quote unquote, we are fully committed to playing a leading role. Our national targets for 2030 includes more than 1 million tons of rice, nearly 500,000 tons of vegetables, 300,000 tons of coconut, and over 100,000 tons of poultry. We are also scaling up production of corn, soy, root crops, ginger, turmeric, fruits, honey, and fisheries, he told the task force.
Jamaica's Chinese community gathers this October 6th to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival, a time when history, culture, and mooncakes unite in a dance of heritage and joy. But have you ever wondered how this enchanting festival began and why mooncakes are at its heart? Our reporter Marlon Samuels takes us on a historical journey about the Mid-Autumn Festival and mooncakes.
Long ago in ancient China, the Mid-Autumn Festival or Moon Festival began as a harvest celebration, honoring the moon goddess Chang'e. It was an expression of gratitude for bountiful crops.
Mid-Autumn actually is telling the days of the festival. It's after the harvest, and people have lots of the materials to making food, and also the families get together again.
Over centuries, it evolved into a symbol of family reunion, gratitude, and mythic tales of love and loyalty.
We make food, we're eating the moon cake, so it's a traditional Chinese festival.
The iconic mooncake is a delectable round pastry.
It means like harmony and also reunion, get together. So it means family, everyone from the family get together. So it's to us, it's a really lucky and happy moment. And at that time, we share the mooncake. The traditional one has nuts and eggs and hams in it in different areas in China. But now they have a new flavor. It's like a fruit, like a mango, durian, a lot of the young style for the young generation, the new styles for the Gen Z.
It comes in different varieties across the whole country. For example, in the southern parts of China, people put meat in mooncakes, but in the north of China, you seldom see meat mooncakes. You often see mooncakes with fillings of nuts and sugar, etc. But as we develop, mooncakes are also innovating. So people are inventing different kinds of new fillings of mooncakes.
It's very, 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 very yummy. It's a little bit sweet and it's yellow in it. Everyone likes to taste different kinds of mooncakes. We have red beans, green beans, and a lot of beans and anything else. But this is purple potatoes.
Legend whispers of secret messages hidden within mooncakes.
The traditional Chinese legend, there's a rabbit and a beautiful lady living on the moon. But actually, the lady, she was on the earth and with her beloved husband. And her husband one day told her wife that I got 2 pills. Well, we both can eat 1 pill. Okay, and then we can become the god. We become the god and the goddess. And his wife is very curious about that, and he just tried one when her husband was not at home. And then after she took the 1 pill, she just fly away. And when her husband came back home and found that her wife is gone and it was only 1 pill left, and he knows that what happened. He's very sad and he cannot see his wife anymore, but he knows that his wife is on the moon already, and her wife took their beloved rabbit together on the moon. So according to legend, that we know that there's a rabbit and a beautiful lady on the moon, and his beloved husband is on earth.
Today, as families gather beneath the luminous moon, sharing slices of mooncakes, they partake in a ritual that transcends borders, connecting Chinese descendants in Jamaica and across the world to their rich heritage. In Jamaica, the Chinese community's celebration of the Mid-Autumn Festival is a vibrant mosaic of tradition and modernity. It's a beautiful reminder that no matter where we are, the moon's gentle glow unites us in shared history and hope. So, this October 6th, as the moon reaches its fullest, let's honor this timeless festival, celebrating the enchanting allure of mooncakes and the enduring spirit of unity it inspires across continents. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels, reporting from Beijing, China.
We headline our sports report with some football news. After falling short in their bid to defend the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup title, Cavalier FC are now turning their full focus to securing a spot in the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League final, a path that could return them to the regional stage. The back-to-back JPL champions took a step in the right direction on Sunday with a 2-0 victory over Tivoli Gardens at the Edward Seaga Sports Complex, a result that ended a recent dip in form and boosted their campaign. Assistant coach David Layla admitted the team was disappointed with its early exit from this year's Caribbean Cup, but said the goal is now to reach a 4th consecutive JPL final and reclaim a place among the Caribbean's elite. Cavalier had been one of the Caribbean's standout clubs in recent seasons, reaching back-to-back Caribbean Cup finals and lifting the title in 2024, following a strong showing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. However, this year saw a dramatic drop in form on the regional stage, with the club managing just 1 win and finishing 4th in their group during the Caribbean Cup. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.